Making headlines tonight. Prime Minister Hun Sen gives guidance to the Universal Peace Federation as he prepares to co-chair its 2021 World Summit next month. Cambodia marks 8 months since the 20 February community transmission event with falling cases and hopes of an imminent reopening. And a border patrol in Battambang stumbles across a mystery cache of ammunition and AK-47 magazines. This is the Daily Roundup on the EAC News Channel. A very good evening to you. I'm Andrew Barnes-Roberts. Prime Minister Hun Sen has welcomed the Director General of the Universal Peace Federation, Young Young-hoa, to the Peace Palace. The meeting came ahead of next month's World Peace Summit, hosted by the UPF, which the Prime Minister will co-chair. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko has the story.
A morning full of praise at the Peace Palace, with Prime Minister Hun Sen warmly welcoming the Director General of the Universal Peace Federation, Young Young-hoa. The Prime Minister awarded his visitor with Cambodian Solidarity Medal, putting the award around Young-ho's shoulder himself. He thanked the Universal Peace Federation for inviting him to co-chair next month's Summit on Peace, which will be held in South Korea. Young-ho complimented the government of Cambodia, saying the Prime Minister is an example of global peace leadership. He invited the Prime Minister to make recommendations toward a successful summit, which will be attended by hundreds of dignitaries from around the world. The Universal Peace Federation is a network of individuals, international organizations, and religious figures who are committed to achieving world peace. The UPF has consultant status at the United Nations Economic and Social Council, supporting the UN in areas such as peace building, interfaith dialogue, and education. On 12 September, it presented the World Peace Gold Medal to the Prime Minister at its General Assembly of Hope. Yuri Matosko, EAC News.
Wednesday marks exactly 8 months since the now infamous 20 February community transmission event. It was in the early hours of that day that 4 Chinese women bribed their way out of quarantine at Soka Hotel. 2 of them were COVID-19 positive. 1 of them had the Alpha variant. Their night on the town unleashed a wave of infection and death that has cost Cambodia dearly. But 8 months on, there is finally light at the end of the tunnel, as EAC News reporter Reo Soko explains.
It was not the first outbreak Cambodia had. It was thought, like the previous 2, that it would be quickly contained, but it wasn't. On the 19th of February, the day before that reckless night on that town, Cambodia had barely 500 cases and 0 deaths. Fast forward 8 months, and the kingdom has lost 2,693 people to COVID-19. 117,201 people have been infected. School closures, lockdowns, curfews, and other administrative measures followed. But Cambodia's second wave came just as it started rolling out vaccines. And 8 months later, the royal government's efforts have turned the tide. Schools have reopened along with many other businesses, and quarantine measures for international arrivals have been eased. Given recent statements from Prime Minister Hun Sen, it would seem the country is only weeks away from a full reopening, both of its economy and its borders. Cambodia has been hailed by international organizations and governments around the world for its rapid vaccination rollout, one of the fastest in the world and second only to Singapore in Southeast Asia. As the kingdom inched closer to herd immunity, along came Pichumben and the ultimate test. The Prime Minister said that 10 to 15 days immediately following the holiday would be the key in whether or not the country could reopen. On Tuesday of this week, he told an anxious nation that it had passed the test and that the kingdom was on track to start a new normal, just where Cambodia would have been had those 4 Chinese nationals not bribed their way out of quarantine. No one will ever know. But 8 months later, the collective efforts of a nation have turned the tide on the country's second wave and set the stage for its long-awaited post-pandemic recovery. Reyes Soko, EAC News.
Cambodia appears to be on track for a full reopening of the economy. The kingdom's daily COVID-19 figures are continuing to fall. Cases did peak briefly after Pachum Ben at 272 last Wednesday, but have since come down sharply over the past week. This Wednesday, the Health Ministry confirmed just 166 new COVID-19 cases by way of PCR tests. 12 more deaths have been reported, though. There have been 270 patients discharged in the past 24 hours, taking the number of active cases down to 2,811. The latest stats take the kingdom's total COVID-19 case count to 117,201. The death toll has reached 2,693. The number of patients treated successfully has climbed to 111,690. Battambang border guards have seized a surprise sack full of ammunition. Border security personnel were patrolling the Cambodia-Thai border on Monday afternoon when they spotted the suspicious-looking sack left near a stream. When they opened it, they were shocked by the contents. EAC news reporter Reo Soko has more.
5 o'clock in the afternoon on Monday, Battambang border guards were patrolling in Timay village in Khmer district's Drang commune, all part of a day's work on the lookout for would-be migrant workers trying to cross the border into Thailand. But to their surprise, instead of catching border hoppers, they came across ammunition and empty magazines believed to be of AK-47s. A total of 508 rounds together with 42 magazines were found. The sack's owner or owners were nowhere to be seen. The ammunition and magazines are now in the custody of the 53rd Brigade Headquarters for further investigation. Authorities continue to search for the owner or owners of the cache. Reyes Soko, EAC News.
3 Mother Nature activists sentenced back in May by the Phnom Penh Municipal Court for incitement have launched an appeal to have the charges against them dropped. Their appeal was heard on Tuesday. A decision is expected early next month, as EAC News' Yuri Matosko reports.
29-year-old Thong Rata, 22-year-old Long Kuntia, and 21-year-old Pong Kyo Rexmei are serving between 18 and 20 months for the crime incitement to commit a felony or to disturb social security, under Articles 495 and 494 of the Criminal Code. Their sentences were based on a series of videos that Mother Nature posted on its Facebook page and website, inciting Cambodians to protest against the authorities, ostensibly for environmental reasons. But they now want the charges dropped, to be released from prison and their $1,000 fine cancelled. The Phnom Penh Court of Appeal heard the case on Tuesday. The 3 activists have asked the court to overturn their convictions and sentences, saying that what they had done in the past was about protecting the environment and they did not intend to incite social disorder. At the time, the municipal court also issued arrest warrants for the director of Mother Nature, Alejandro Gonzalez Davison, as well as a member of the NGO Khmer Travak Youth Movement, Chia Kantin. Both were sentenced to 20 months in prison and ordered to pay $1,000 each. The spokesman of the Ministry of Justice, Chin Malin, told EAC News that it is a legal right of the accused activists to appeal to the Phnom Penh court, but the decision is up to the judge if they should be released. Regarding the 3 activists who appeared on Tuesday, the appeal court says it will hand down a ruling on Friday, 5 November. Yuri Matosko, EAC News.
Residents of Battambang's Khmer district have voiced their complaints about excavations at a treasured mountain. They say Phnom Kabal Kondamre mountain was a beautiful sight 3 years ago, but excavators appear to have turned the foot of the mountain into a quarry. The district governor is investigating the claims, as EAC News reporter Reo Soko explains.
Phnom Kabal Kondamre mountain used to be beautiful, residents say. It's located near the Kabal Kondamre Pagoda in Utre village and used to be a tourist attraction. But 3 years ago, excavators arrived on the site. Villagers say that ever since, the air has become polluted. Their homes are covered in dust and their children have respiratory problems. They say things get even worse during the rainy season with the risk of landslides. They say they never thought that the project would last for 3 years and that their beautiful mountain would become a mud bath. Villagers have now turned to the authorities for help. Cam Ranh District Governor Sok Kim Kun has told EAC News that the excavation is actually a project of the Cam Ranh Commune Authority to repair the road around the foot of the mountain. He has assured villagers that a team will be deployed to check the status of the excavation and its impact on their daily lives. Raya Soko, EAC News.
Cambodia and the United States are teaming up to combat human trafficking. US Ambassador W. Patrick Murphy met on Tuesday with Minister of Women's Affairs Ng Kantapavi along with other representatives from the Ministries of Labour, Justice and Social Affairs. The talks centred on strategies to fight human trafficking in the kingdom. EAC News reporter Yuri Matosko has more on the story.
At the office of the Minister of Justice, U.S. Ambassador W. Patrick Murphy has guaranteed that the United States is committed to supporting the royal government in its efforts to prevent human trafficking, especially to enhance law enforcement and increase public awareness. The ambassador has also announced that the Biden administration is launching a new 5-year program, the Counter Trafficking in Person, or CTIP, that will address the root causes of human trafficking, protect vulnerable people, and assist Cambodian stakeholders to effectively combat human trafficking in the country. According to the Ministry of Women's Affairs Facebook page, the U.S. delegation expressed appreciation for the government's progress in battling human trafficking. They have also shown interest in the Ministry of Education's campaign regarding lessons intended to increase students' awareness about the issue. Both Cambodian and American authorities have agreed that sites at a high risk for human trafficking, such as construction sites, brick manufacturing kilns, as well as entertainment and hospitality venues, need to be closely monitored. More talks and further cooperation regarding human trafficking are expected to be held. Yuri Matosko, EAC News.
Now for a look at some news making international headlines this Wednesday, the 20th of October.
A 4-car commuter train has derailed 90 kilometers south of Sydney after it smashed into an abandoned stolen vehicle that had been parked across the tracks. The impact knocked the front carriage onto its side and tilted the second one. The incident occurred at Kambla Grange, near Wollongong. 12 people were evacuated from the passenger train, including the trapped driver. He has been hospitalized along with 4 passengers. Police have set up a crime scene after a person was reported running away from the site. It was not known how long the vehicle had been parked on the tracks. It had been stolen from a home at Flinders.
21 people have had a very lucky escape after a McDonnell Douglas MD-87 passenger jet rolled through a fence and caught fire while attempting to take off from Houston Executive Airport. All 21 people on board made it off the plane, with only 2 being taken to hospital with minor injuries. The plane was on its way to Boston, where the Houston Astros will face the Red Sox in Game 4 of the American League Championship Series. The National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Authority are investigating the crash.
And drone footage has been released of what is said to be one of the most dangerous stretches of road in the world. The Paso Internacional Los Libertadores, also called the Cristo Redentor Tunnel, was first inaugurated in 1980. It is a mountain pass through the Andes and links Argentina and Chile. The road begins on the Chilean side, with a steep climb of approximately 50 kilometers from Los Andes, and then a further 70 kilometers from Santiago. The first 20 curves lie across just 4 kilometers. The next 9 zigzags cover just 2.5 kilometers, taking drivers to an altitude of 2,800 meters. The road's highest point is at a headache-inducing 3,840 meters, where drivers can take in the Christ the Redeemer statues unveiled in 1904 as part of the celebration of the peaceful resolution of the border dispute between the two countries. The route is closed during the winter months, with the threat of rockfalls and heavy snow.
Stay with the Daily Roundup. Coming up after the break, a look at today's sports news. EAC News fully supports the Royal Government of Cambodia's preventative and administrative measures against COVID-19. But we need you to play your part in helping bring the 20 February community transmission event to an end. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize wherever possible. Keep an eye on your body temperature. Use the Stop COVID QR code and maintain a safe social distance. But above all, please, please, please wear a mask. Only together can we beat COVID-19. EAC News' audience is growing. Our YouTube channel has over 150,000 verified subscribers. To mark the milestone, we've received the Silver Creator Award from YouTube. It's given to channels with over 100,000 subscribers. YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki says the award celebrates EAC News' hard work and incredible achievement. She says we brought a unique voice and style to the world, but have also created valuable connections and built a community along the way. The next milestone we're going for is 1 million subscribers, and we'd really like that Gold Creator Award. So if you're not already a subscriber, head to YouTube and search for EAC News. Subscribers get alerts when the Daily Roundup is premiering and live events are streaming. Get all the latest breaking news and updates from Cambodia in English. The EAC News channel on YouTube. Cambodia made clear. If it's happening and you need to know about it, you'll get it all right here. EAC News brings you updates and breaking news in English across all of our platforms and channels. The EAC News app, YouTube, Facebook, Telegram, Twitter, and our website www.eacnews.asia. Join me, Andrew Barnes-Roberts, and the rest of the EAC News team every day on your favorite channels. EAC News, Cambodia made clear. Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain are on track in the UEFA Champions League after Tuesday night's group matches. Liverpool overcame Atletico Madrid 3-2, while PSG notched up a 3-2 comeback victory at home to RB Leipzig.
Liverpool's Mohamed Salah netted a double, including the winner, as they secured a 3-2 victory over Atletico Madrid, who they struggled against in the past. Salah's winner came from the penalty spot after Antoine Griezmann was given a red card for a dangerous high boot, but the night they saw Atletico awarded a penalty of their own before it was overturned on review.
I heard it now already a lot of times. Of course, I understand that Atletico people or Spanish people are upset or don't like the decisions, but I think the penalty we conceded is a clear penalty. The penalty for Atletico, in my understanding, is not a penalty, but when he whistles it, I was a bit surprised that they took it back, because I only saw it once and I didn't think it was a penalty. It was clear what they wanted in that moment. And the red card, of course it's unlucky, but I think it's a red card. You cannot change that. The foot is in the face. That's what you get red cards for. So that's not cool, but it happened. And that's the story of the game pretty much. We still had to defend with all we have, because even with 10 men, they were quite intense to play. But the dirty 3 points are very often the most important, and they were dirty tonight, of course. It was not our best football, but we got them, and that's a big step.
The win keeps Liverpool top of Group B on 9 points, 5 ahead of second-place Atletico and Porto in third, with AC Milan pointless at the bottom of the table. Meanwhile, Paris Saint-Germain's Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi found their groove as they inspired their side to a 3-2 comeback win at home to RB Leipzig. Mbappe was the first to strike, and Messi had France forward to thank for his second-half double. Mbappe, who missed a stoppage time penalty, set up Messi for the equalizer and won the spot kick that the Argentine converted with a nice cool chip after what had been a pretty dull performance from the club's new signing. The result leaves PSG top of Group A with 7 points from 3 games, 1 ahead of Manchester City, who demolished Club Brugge 5-1. Leipzig remained pointless at the bottom of the group.
There's more UEFA Champions League action on Wednesday night. Bayern Munich face Benfica in Lisbon, while a troubled Barcelona host Dynamo Kiev. Bayern Munich will be without fullback Alphonso Davies and midfielder Leon Goretzka for their Champions League Group E encounter. Goretzka is out with a cold, as is Davies, both being given a break to avoid fatigue due to the German champions' busy schedule in the coming weeks. But coach Julian Nagelsmann told reporters on Tuesday that star player Lucas Hernandez is expected to feature, despite him facing a jail term in Madrid for violating a restraining order after an altercation with his wife.
I would talk to him if I saw any anomalies, but I don't. I can only say that he's training and playing well. I think he's approaching the situation quite well, and I am not that involved in it. I can only look at it from the outside. I have my own opinion, of course, but it's not something I want to share, as it is his private life. As long as he's doing his job well, and he wants to play, and he wants to win. He played well against Leverkusen, and he will probably play well tomorrow. I think he's very good at separating the two things, and he's approaching it well.
The Bavarians are 2 points clear at the top of Group E with 2 wins from 2 games. Benfica are second on 4 points. Dynamo Kiev are third on 1, with Barcelona still without points in last place. But Barcelona coach Ronald Koeman is under no illusion that their future in this season's Champions League depends on Wednesday's clash with Dynamo Kiev. He knows his job is on the line, but appealed for calm, acknowledging that his side's focus is not on winning the title, but returning to a high level.
To compete, yes, but we can't demand of the team to win the Champions League, because if we look at other teams that are ahead of us, we are trying to get to the same level with new and young players. As I said before, we have to recover our injured players that are still not at their best level, but they are going in a good direction. All this stops our objectives, but I think we have a competitive team, and I believe we will get through this group stage.
Barcelona sit bottom of Group E following consecutive 3-0 losses to Bayern Munich and Benfica. The Olympic flame has been officially handed over to representatives from China. The event went off without a hitch the day after protests disrupted the lighting ceremony on Monday. The vice president of the Chinese Olympic Committee, Yu Zaiqing, arrived at the Panathenaic Stadium in Athens on Tuesday, followed shortly afterwards by The vice president of the Chinese Olympic Committee, Yu Zaiqing, arrived at the Panathenaic Stadium in Athens on Tuesday, followed shortly afterwards by International Olympic Committee member Cyprios Kapralos. Then the Greek ceremonial guard put on a display of pom-pom shoes and ceremony for an event we can't actually show you, with the rites being so heavily protected by the IOC. The actual flame arrived on the back of an SUV and was carried into the stadium by a Greek athlete holding an olive branch. About half an hour later, a delegation of Chinese athletes emerged with the flame safely protected in a lantern. They quickly boarded their team bus and headed for the airport. The flame arrived in Beijing on Wednesday morning for the start of the traditional torch relay. The 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics begin on Friday, the 4th of February. All right, let's have a look at how the weather's shaping up for tomorrow. And finally, two barber brothers in India are turning heads, quite literally, with their creative hair designs. They can shave just about anything on their customers' heads and have plans to go global with their styling. 29-year-old Rajvinder Singh Sidhu and his 31-year-old brother Gurvinder have fast become internet celebrities in the small town of Mandidavali in northern India. They pride themselves on being able to depict anything from Hollywood and Bollywood celebrities to international sports stars and even the Taj Mahal on people's heads. After a thorough wash, they shave a part of the customer's head and then start drawing using scissors and an electric shaver. They cut the customer's hair in different lengths and use a type of pencil to draw in the finer details. The finished result looks almost like a tattoo, but will wash out in a few days. It will grow out altogether within 2 weeks. But despite the short lifespan of the designs and the cost, anything from $20 upwards, they've got a long list of clients who mostly get some head art before a special occasion. With their fame spreading, Rajvinder says they hope to go global someday. Ultimately, they want to win hair competitions in the US, but for now are planning a move to one of India's bigger cities like Mumbai or Goa. Thank you for watching the Daily Roundup here on the EAC News Channel. You'll get more breaking news and updates from our website. Head to www.eacnews.asia and also search for EAC News on Telegram and at your favorite app store. More from the EAC News team in the Daily Roundup tomorrow night at 8. I will see you then.